Look at that massive, massive fish there. That thing is crazy big. What the heck is that? It's like a miniature dolphin. See the turtle? Hey there, so this is Giardini Indro Montanelli in Milan. My hotel is that way. The main square is this way. It's a bit of a walk. Looks like it will be a nice walk. So I'm going to tell a story here as I walk along about what happened yesterday, and it was definitely up there in the crazy department of just weird travel experiences. So I made a video in Verona yesterday afternoon. I finished up the video and I had a train to catch at 4:45 p.m. My luggage was at the train station waiting for me because I just did a quick couple of hours walking around Verona, coming from the Dolomites, and then was planning to come here last night as I did, but it turned out to be way more complicating than I could have possibly imagined. So I finished up recording the video there, and it was about 4:05, so I had 40 minutes to get to the train. I knew I had a ways to go. I had walked a lot in the other direction from the train station. And so I looked on my phone, and it was showing a 37-minute walk to the train station from where I was. Now, I was anticipating that it would be quite a walk, and so I was expecting to catch a taxi from there. And so I figured it's only like a 10-12-minute taxi ride or so, and so that should have left me plenty of time. So I walk out of the Roman theater where I just finished recording, and I see no taxis around there. There's a road right there along the river. So I start walking in the direction of the train station. However, I couldn't walk through the most direct way to go because that was through the area that I had filmed in the video, which was the center of the old town and a pedestrian zone. So of course, no taxi is going to be around there. So I started walking along the street by the river. It was a little bit more roundabout, but figured, speaking of taxis here, figured there would be a taxi coming along eventually. So I start walking along, and just absolutely no taxis coming at all. So I just keep on walking, and no taxis coming. And I'm starting to realize, oh man, this is not as easy as I was hoping that it would be. And so I'm just like looking everywhere, walking, you know, picking up my pace, and just no taxis coming along anywhere. And so I start to think, you know what, I had better start trying to hitchhike this, you know, hitchhike through Verona. That's like not going to be easy. So I'm seeing cars going by, and I'm like going like this, like, you know, just giving anything a try. Because when I had reserved the train, I had noticed that there were a couple of other trains that were full, and so I wasn't sure if it was going to be like hours delayed getting on another train or whatever, and so I really wanted to catch that one. So no luck with the trying to flag down the cars, and it is getting to critical condition. Haven't seen a single taxi. Finally I get to an area where two taxis drive by, and they both just pass me. I guess they have passengers, or they are going to pick somebody up or whatever. Finally I try to flag down this car, and he stops. And so I explained to him, his English is pretty good. He's a waiter at one of the restaurants in the tourist area, and he's driving to work, but he says, okay, I'll take you around to the train station. So, brilliant. And so he gets me to the train station in just a few minutes, and I am very relieved, of course. The train leaves in like, I think 12 or maybe 15 minutes or something, so I basically have plenty of time. I go get my luggage, and then go to look on the board showing the train departure platforms. All right, so getting a great look at the incredible architecture of Milan. This is my first time seeing any of this because I arrived yesterday evening and then I'm just leaving now for the first time to go into the city center. So this is all new to me. I will plan to make another video probably tomorrow. I'm here another 2 nights and actually like talk about the city. I mean, we'll see. I have actually got a lot of video editing piling up right now. So anyways, I look up at the board showing the trains and mine is canceled. And I'm like, what? No way. Like, that is not a common thing in Italy. I have taken a fair amount of trains. So I immediately decide, okay, before doing anything, let's see about the other trains that might be available and book one ASAP, just in case everybody else who was supposed to be on that train is trying to do the same thing. It was only €12.75 for the ticket, so very cheap. And so I go to a kiosk and there is another train leaving exactly an hour later at 5:45, so I booked that one. Then I go to the Trenitalia office to figure out about getting a refund for the $12.75. It's like not a big deal, but while I'm waiting around, might as well see if I can get a refund for that. So I talk to the attendant guy, you get a number, and then there's a whole crowd of people there because of the canceled train. You get a number and then wait for your number to come up, and it is a long ways away. It's like 40 numbers further. And so I talked to the guy that's standing there, train official, and he says that it is canceled because of a train strike. And so I asked him, well, what about the other train and the one an hour later? And he's like, well, we don't really know. So I hang around, wait for my number to come up. It takes a good 30 minutes or so, but finally it happens. And so I go up to them, ask them about the refund, and they say, you have to go use the website. And that is disappointing to hear because you know that is going to be a total pain in the butt. And so I ask them also about the train at 5:45, which is like in 20 minutes or so at that point. And he also says, well, we don't really know what's happening. It sounds quite likely that it's actually going to be canceled as well. But it turns out that there is another train company that is not part of the strike. And so I go over to them and ask them about a train coming up. There is one at 6:04, something like that. And so that is in, 30 minutes. But it is full. So the next one is at 8:04 or whatever, 2 hours later. And so I figure, let's just go for it, see what other options might come up. Maybe I can just take a bus if there's a bus going earlier or whatever, but let's just buy it. That train ticket is €35, so 3 times as expensive as the other one for some reason. But I go for it, and then I am thinking, you know what? There's this train going at 6 o'clock in 30 minutes. What if I just go for that one and plead ignorance or whatever when the ticket checker comes along and hope for the best, and worst case scenario, they dump me out at another stop and at least it's somewhere different to hang out for 2 hours. But I figure most likely it'll work out. There will probably be seats still. And so the plan is to get on that 6 o'clock train. However, first, I might as well attempt all possible options and see about the other train that is going at 5:45, supposedly, which is not showing as being canceled yet on the board. And so I go to the platform for the 5:45 train with Trenitalia, and there are crowds of people there waiting at the doors because the train is actually sitting there, but the doors are closed, nobody inside, and every car has a crowd of people in front of it, of people who are also hoping that this train will actually go. And so I wait there. It is like 15 minutes still. We all wait and wait and wait, and 5:45 comes along and nothing happens, and everybody gives up and leaves. So now to my backup plan, to the 6 o'clock train. Some nice relief carvings here. Old style, I guess, kind of Roman looking. So the train at 6 o'clock has not arrived yet. It's coming from, I think, Venice. So the train arrives almost exactly on time, so things are looking good. Get on the train, and I'm just figuring whatever happens, happens. If I have to sit on the floor or hang out by the bathroom, then I'm just ready to get this train experience over with and get to Milan. But there are seats available, so I take a seat and then I wait for the train to take off. But the departure time comes and goes without the train leaving. And so we're all sitting there waiting patiently for the train to take off. And 20 minutes goes by, 30 minutes goes by. It's kind of peculiar since this train arrived on time. It's supposedly not on strike or anything, so what's the holdup? And finally, a notice comes on the TV screen there for the train, first in Italian and then translated into English, and it says there is a police incident that is holding up the train. Doesn't explain what exactly that means, but you get the general idea. At some point then, police rush through the train. Never heard what the deal was, but eventually that train actually starts moving an hour late. But it goes, and everything is smooth from there on. My ticket was never checked, so that was never an issue. Nobody ever said that I was in their seat or anything. It arrives in Milan at 8:15 or something like that. So in the end, I was only delayed an hour or so can't complain too much, because that train was actually quicker than the other one. So that is one of the reasons why it was more expensive. And so everything worked out. And then one other snafu is that there was an issue with booking my hotel. So I usually use booking.com, but I wasn't able to actually complete the booking. I've had this issue for the past few days. I think it is because of the super slow cell phone connection, is my only guess that I can think of, that it wasn't able to process the credit card and complete the transaction. Anyways, so I decide to call the hotel and reserve with them, which is something I've been doing a little more frequently lately, especially with hotels where I am booking it just a few hours before I arrive. So I call the hotel and reserve a room, and then I'm looking at the location and I realize that that hotel is a long ways from the train station. It's basically the opposite side of the center of Milan, and it's going to mean dealing with a taxi and a bit of a drive. And so I find this other hotel where I'm staying now that is a lot closer to the train station. Very interesting people watching here. And I decide to wait until I get there, forget about dealing with the phone, and just show up in person. It's a very reasonable price for the room, about $60 a night. And then I'll just go straight over there and then reserve the room with them. So I get there to the hotel. They have just one room left, so I think that one or two had gotten reserved in the meantime. And it is actually like $80 a night for 2 nights. So more expensive. But I am totally just exhausted and don't feel like bothering with, you know, trying to find somewhere else. It is his last room. I'm just like, whatever, okay, let's just do it. Maybe it was expensive because last night was the game, the soccer, football, Euro game, because I booked a third night and it was cheaper. It was only $60. But then I get in the room and it smells like smoke, and it is just like not a decent you know, room for $80, but it will do. Not going to bother with changing, and that is the end of the story. So I'm just going to walk around Milan without filming for now, just kind of enjoy this very cool, lively scene. A Monday evening here, maybe 5:15 or something like that. Just going to wander around the city, and then we'll see, maybe do some more filming tomorrow. So ciao, see you later. Look at this incredible cathedral. We'll see, maybe I'll start a video tomorrow from this cathedral and say something about it.